Hello students, how have you been? I hope you are doing well. That's great. This is English for grade 8. Our lesson topic for today, that is lesson 13. Before I proceed to today's lesson, I would like to remind you what we learned last time. We have been talking about in the previous time how to speak story to your friends. Telling a story to your friend helps you a lot. We told each other and we discussed each other stories while you are narrating a story to your friends. You learn a lot of things. You are able to develop your speaking skill. While you are speaking, you learn a lot of vocabularies. You learn a lot of informations, how to help people, how to keep the morale of people, how to suggest someone who have a problem, how to give advice, how to share the problem of the others. So stories do have different kinds of objectives, as we heard from the story that we spoke in the previous time about a lion and a mouse. And the other one is, don't forget that those vocabularies as we studied, such as pow, kicked, grabbed, paint. All these are very important vocabularies. Therefore, we were trying to show you the meaning of these vocabularies in sentences too. And instead of the meaning of finding the words in the dictionary, you better do sentences using those words. That's it. So our topic for today is that is Unit 13. Unit 4. Still now, animal conservation is a part of animal conservation. This is lesson 13. Animal conservation, lesson 13. The part is as a grammar. What kind of grammar are you going to learn? Good. We are going to see kind of grammar about these verbs. Irregular and regular. Which kind of verbs belongs to this irregular and regular? They are both belong to past tense. We are talking about past tense in this lesson. That is past simple, or past tense. Or simple past tense in short. So what do you mean by that, regular and irregular? Let's go and see, and let me give you some of the explanations. Regular verbs are all verbs which belong to in different contexts. So I'll issue that talking regular and irregular in the past forms. Yeah. Regular and irregular. Irregular past forms. Past verbs. We are not talking about present verbs, but past verbs. Regular and irregular. Let's go and see. While you are making simple past tense, you remember the story that we listened last time was a part of what? Story. All verbs were written in the form of what? Simple past tense. You are welcome to identify. Some of the verbs belongs to the regular, others are irregular verbs. So what do you mean by that, regular verbs? I would like to tell you what regular and what and regular verb may. Regular verb means that the verb in the past form when you are adding D in the main verb. This is regular verb. When you are adding that is ed in the verb, that is regular verb. And similarly, regular verbs never take any form of D or ed. They are imperative. But we don't mean that. They take their own forms. That means, yeah, they take their forms. What kind of forms do they have? I would like to give you some sample examples. Don't worry, students. Before that, would you mind telling me some of the verbs? Yeah, share to your friends. Good. That's interesting one. Yeah, exactly. The common verbs that we usually use. Let's take for instance that is wash. You see, play, cry. You see? And there are some others. Wash, play, cry, dry. Okay? And then brush. They are all add what? D or ed. But let's go and see some of the difference among these words. See? Wash. So when you are here now, good. Wait, washed. Washed. Yeah. You are pronouncing it as the sound. Washed. W-A-S-H-E-D. It are that is ed form. Washed. Come in again. Play. Played. Played. It has another sound. Played. When it comes in the case of these two verbs, cry and dry, both have the same structure, but there is a little bit difference with the previous verbs that we have seen above. That's why, because in the case of such kind of regular verbs, when a verb which is in this Y, that is Y, yeah, it is preceded by a consonant letter. Don't forget that it's preceded by a consonant letter. You see, this Y turns to I and you add that is ed. Don't forget. So in the case of play, look now, play, there is a vowel. So no need of changing Y to I and then add that ed. No. Because it's a vowel letter. So right, students? Yeah, this is a vowel letter. But here now, it's verb cry can be written in such a ways. C-R-I-E-D, cried. Cried. This Y changes into I and then you add that is ed. Because of what? Because of this consonant letter. Yeah? You know, consonant letter and vowel letter, right? So consonant letters are all letters except these. These are the common vowel letters. Yeah. See? E, I, O, U. Sounds. These are the sounds. When you pronounce them, when a word which is preceded by such kind of verbs, right? These are vowel sounds. Therefore, in such a case, cry is cried, dry is dry, same structure. That's it. Dry. That's why, because there is R. There's not only that, there are lots, okay? Brush, brushed. Any other? Would you like to share some other verbs which is similar to this? Good. So, these ed and ed forms can be formed in different ways by adding that ed, by adding that is ed, and that is changing Y to I, and then D form also this is possible. Right? There are some other verbs which belongs to irregular one. Regular verbs are not verbs like regular one. Irregulars are different with their forms. You are welcome to form irregular verbs with different forms. For example, I'm going to write this, bring. Don't say bring it, no. Don't say bring it. It doesn't take ed form here now. It has its own form. That's why we call this kind of verb belongs to the irregular one. So, bring, what it be? Let's list down some of the verbs like these. Think. Think. Let's go. Grow. Break. See. Any other? Come on. Right. Look at. Don't say that wrecked. Don't say that thinked. No. Don't say that growed, breaked, sit. Right. No. These are lie because they all belong to the regular forms or regular past forms. Very good. Now, let's go and write the appropriate form of these irregular past verbs. Bring, brought. B-R-O-U-G-H-T, brought. Yeah, say brought. Exactly. Say it to your friend. Think, thought. Grow, grew. Break, broke. You see? There is no formation of which is similar with regular verbs. But they all have the same function. They are all belong to what? Past tense, simple past tense. Talk about simple past tense. We are welcome to make some sentences with these forms. See, so. Write, wrote. If you want to talk about your simple past or past action, you are welcome to use all these verbs. Let's go and form some of the verbs with these regular and irregular past forms. Let me give you some time and try to practice together. Good. Next sentence. Yeah, that's interesting. You are welcome. Good. Share to your friend. Show it to anyone else. Exactly. For example, Yeah. What did you do yesterday? If you like, you are welcome to do what? I washed my socks. I washed my clothes. I washed some dishes, etc. So you are talking about your past experience, and then don't forget that using these verbs. Let's go and play. Maybe it's another action that you did in the previous time. What did you do with your friends yesterday? What did you do with your friends last time or last week in your break time? We played football with our friends yesterday. I played with my cousin yesterday. So, played is a very important regular verb, which is important to talk about the past action, what you did in your day-to-day life it may be, right? Cried. You are welcome to make a sentence. My little brother cried a lot because he lost his doll, etc. Yeah. He cried a lot because he lost his notebook. That's it. My friend cried in the classroom because he was sick. So cried is also still not as a past action. Dried, yeah. Let us make dry what our clothes. Oh, come on. Take this clothes into house. It's already dried. It has already dried. Dried, it is a past tense. Dried up. Dried it up properly before you put it in the box. Be sure that it is dried properly. So dried is again, it is past tense. Brushed. Yeah. He brushed his teeth yesterday. Maybe that's why we are talking about the past tense, actually. Yeah. So, brushed is a past action. You are welcome to use all these regular verbs without changing their forms in the past form. Only to talk about past action. What you did last week, what you did last time, what you did in the previous week, or what you did in the previous seasons, etc. Let's go and talk about bring das Brot. Yeah. My cousin brought me a gift to my birthday. My cousin brought me a gift for my birthday. Brought, you see, bring, brought. Yeah, another word that is give, or my cousin, you see, give also possible. It's okay. My cousin gave me a present to my birthday, right? Give, gave. It's a past tense, right? Think about. I thought about the problem. We'll solve it together. I thought about the problem. That means you are worrying about something issue, right? Therefore, so now this is the past tense again. You see? Grow, that's grew. Yeah. Villagers grew up different vegetables last year. Villagers grew up different vegetables last year in their garden. You see? Broke. I broke a glove last night. It's a past tense. I saw my previous teacher crossing the zebra straight. Crossing the zebra. I saw one of my best friends at the field last time, etc. I wrote a letter to my parents, etc. Therefore, when you think about regular and irregular past verbs, you see, that's why they are important to talk about your past action. Therefore, talking about past action, what happened in the previous time, can be described with different ways. But the main issue is that don't forget that these V2 forms. So regular and irregular forms are just common in every context too, right? Not only in the past form, student is, even in the present tense, regular and irregular are common. It's all right. That's it. That's why cause cry. This cry, cries. You know, you're adding now. That's cry, cries. It's a verb. You are changing the y into I and then add that is s. That's still all the same, but the situation is not the same. The previous one, cry, cries, is a present verb, whereas cried is now, it is a past verb. That is the only difference. The main thing is that you have to bear in mind about these regular and irregular past verbs are how we are forming regular and irregular verbs, and at the same time, okay, what are the possible forms in order to use regular and irregular verbs. Sometimes in your exam time, wash might be written in the forms in such a ways, okay? Yeah, in other words, in other contexts, yeah? In different forms, I mean that. The same is true in the case of irregular verbs, bring might be written in the form that's bring it, something like that. But you have to study all the irregular and irregular verbs independently, that's why, because they all have different functions. It's not only that. The main thing that you have to think about is that what is the appropriate verb in order to complete what? The sentence. How do you make sentences using these regular and irregular past forms? So when it comes here now, regular and irregular past forms with different contexts, we will practice together. Now, I'm going to give you some activities and then we'll do it together. Good. Among these verbs, you are welcome to change into past forms. Change the verbs into past forms. Change the verbs in the bracket into past forms. Thank you. Good. Let's go and see these sentences. When I'm writing, try to look up your dictionary or any kind of source to finish your job on the right time. Right? My friend here is a word in the bracket. Is not book this morning. Her mother make yesterday. Wash a lot of dish at home. And make blank crossing a zebra. for my birthday. A piece of information. Call students. Name yesterday. Yeah, it's good. Last week. Let's go and see these all the verbs. What are the verbs? Laws. Yeah, try to identify the verbs. Thank you. All the verbs that are available in the bracket are all belong to verbs. But we don't know whether they are regular or irregular. We don't know. Let's go and identify them. Loss. Does it belong to regular or regular? Exactly. That is an irregular verb. Therefore, don't add D or ED after it. How about make? Exactly. This also belongs to what? An irregular verb. How about wash? Wash is a verb which belongs to regular verb. So, meet is what kind of verb is it? Sure, it is an irregular verb too. So how do you change it? Number 5, that is bring. Sure, it was given out a sample example in the previous time. Therefore, it also belongs to the irregular verb, not regular, irregular verb. Tell is the same, that is an irregular verb. And also the other one is call, C-A-L-L. This is also regular verb. That means that you have to add the or ed form. That's it. So, hope that you will be doing all these activities in the coming section at home, and we'll discuss it next time. That's all we have for today. Till we meet next week. See you. Goodbye. Goodbye.